The performance of large companies and organizations can only improve if the performance of their employees and the human resources are improved. That is why every successful organization should have unique employees. Since many people who work in the field of human resources recognize this fact, it became necessary to search and find excellent employees, and to appoint, integrate and retain them, and this became one of the priorities that the largest organizations are working on. But the art of choosing the best employees is not an easy task, because few managers have received systematic training that enables them to master this skill, or they have the abilities to do that. That is why this book came to fill this gap, with the theoretical knowledge and practical tools needed to always make great employment decisions. Great People Decisions by Claudio Fernandez. All successful people in the field of finance and business strive to make their projects work and to realistic in the best way, and the luck factor can't play a large role in the process of success. This is why the success equation is not an equation that depends on luck only, but it is an equation that includes 4 basic elements. The first is the genetic composition. The second is development. The third is career decisions. The fourth and final element are the decisions of choosing people. This enhances the author's view that these elements increase success, and we shouldn't deal with them separately, because they depend on each other, creating a multiplier effect. It also indicates that most of these elements differ in importance at different stages of our lives, except the genetic inheritance of course, which is like luck, it keeps the same amount of influence from birth to death. As for development, it affects your entire life and its importance is clearly visible in the early stages of your life, and career decisions become more important as we reach our early 20s, and finally the necessity of what is called decisions of choosing people becomes clear when we want to achieve our goals, ideas and projects. Bit to remember, the success equation does not depend on luck, but on a set of basic elements. Many people who work in the field of finance and business state clearly that the decisions of choosing employees come at the top of the list of the most important decisions. Studies, experiments, and interviews conducted by specialists with successful and pioneering companies have proven that those who change their performance from good to excellent applied the who's first rule, which means that they first got the right people on the bus and got off the wrong ones, and then put the right person in the right place, and then they decided the destination of the bus. To be clear, this rule is not the only condition for building a great company, it is one of 8 concepts discovered in this study. But it's the first condition, and until 90% to 100% of your basic seats are filled with the right people, you have nothing more important than this condition. In other words, decisions of choosing employees are the key to great organizational performance in almost all of its forms. Perhaps the most important things that contribute in the good choice of the right employee are implementation, culture, talents, and leadership. Bit to remember, choosing the right employee in the right place is the key to building a successful organization. The process of choosing the right employee is not an easy process as many people think. In order to determine exactly the qualifications you are looking for, this requires great expertise and reliable experiences, and this is for at least 3 reasons. The first is that even if there was disagreement about the specific indicators and qualifications for the right employee, you must use generalizations of the best performance indicators in any job. Second, when you search for candidates for a job, you face all kinds of practical challenges, including not having enough time to study each potential candidate carefully, so you have to set your priorities and focus, in one way or another. By focusing on the best indicators, you can achieve better evaluations in less time, and then accomplish your work more effectively and efficiently. Third, focusing on the best indicators to predict the candidate's performance in a job will avoid any kind of discrimination. The final reason why it's so important to determine exactly what you're looking for is that the ideal candidate probably doesn't exist. In reality, you have to make trade-offs, and to test them successfully, you will have to recognize critical strengths and harmless weaknesses. Bit to remember, determining the qualifications you are looking for in an employee is a matter that requires great expertise and reliable experiences. It must be noted that in order to have an effective method of employee evaluation, it must fulfill 2 basic conditions. First, it must be acceptable by the candidate, and second, it should predict the job performance. The most appropriate trade-off between candidate acceptance and the validity of evaluation is usually achieved through an effective combination of interviews and contact with references. In addition to the above, we find that most companies conduct some kind of analysis of the candidate's CV. It also complements the information in the CV with a more valuable set of personal data, which includes more information about the candidate's personal background and life experiences. This method of studying personal data has been developing since it was successfully used during World War II to detect competencies among military officers, but it has declined in recent decades. Personal data has proven to be reliable as an indicator of job performance in entry-level positions, but compared to most other evaluation methods, it is a very poor indicator of managerial performance. The higher up the organizational levels, the less predictability of personal data. Bit to remember, the method of candidates' performance evaluation has conditions and qualifications that must be met.